Okay, we're back, and let's go ahead and dive right in. I wanted to this time mess around a little more with this parameter random sequence generator, which I've dumped right in there. And I've got Winamp piped through the VB audio cable right directly into Winamp, and I've got a couple of sounds. Nicolas Bernier's music for 10 monophonic synthesizers. Let's go ahead and hit play on it. And actually, I really like the intro of this, so I'm going to go ahead and in the Concrete tool, let's make sure we've got, our sources set to Winamp already, and I want to go ahead and hit record and just capture some of the intro because it's a bit of the live room recording. So hit record and play there. All right, awesome. So let's select that and get a little loop going. Pitch it down. I love that slowed down sound. Cool. Now let's try some other stuff with this music for 10 monophonic synthesizers. And one thing I love about Winamp is if you go into the preferences, you can set the fading and buffering on these, and what that lets you do is when you're skipping around, you can get some interesting kind of overlaps as you're skipping around. So you can just hit the arrow keys like I'm doing here on the keyboard, and with certain tracks you can get a nice sort of mushed together, because it's basically just like, it's almost like a granular style of effect there. So let's record some of this, me just jumping around in here. Turn this off here, hit record. Okay, now let's see if we can get something meaningful coming out of the tool here. I'm going to pitch this way down. All right, so we've got a nice attack on that. I think that would be really useful for the audio version of this tool here. Let's go ahead and just hit play. So we have some... bring in the grain delay, hit play, so we've got this clip, and I can add some automations in there, but mostly I want to try to get this, let's pull the threshold down here so we get, there we go, looks like too many attacks there. There we go, I think that's what we want. So I'm gonna just kind of go nuts here and map to all of these. This is a bit brute force in a way, but sometimes you get really cool results just by, not thinking about what you're doing and just kind of, I guess, just go crazy sometimes. So there we see everything switching. Let's play with the delay time on that. Rather interesting, and let's play with the smooth here. So even weirder. I've got this other sound here, Paper Sound by Remo De Vico. I'll put a link to his site. He's got some interesting Max for Live tools he shared with me, as well as some free sound recordings. So this will be a fun texture to use. Alright, let's record into this lane here. And I'm just going to skip around. And again, with Winamp, you get that nice faded edges between skipping, not just like a hard cut. You can set the buffer to do a hard cut type of thing, but for this I really want something a little bit more smooth. And let's go ahead and stop that. And let's pitch this up. Yeah, I think paper sounds kind of interesting when pitched up a little higher. And let's hit play on here so we can automate in this clip. I'm going to automate. I think I want to pull this down here. make it a little more deeper. And if we hold down Shift and use the arrow keys up and down, we can get these incremental steps there on the filter. So far, pretty weird sounding stuff here. Let's. Yeah, again, where was I? All right, let's kind of get lost in the shuffle of crazy ideas. I tell you, it is a true skill to be able to shoot a video, talk at the same time, and think about weird things to do impromptu-wise next. Although I do plan a little bit of the ideas out, it's mostly just winging it when it comes to the actual, as you see here, we're just kind of expressionistically drawing a cityscape. And I want to see if I can get this technique like I did in one of the previous quick sketches where I mapped that. There we go. And let's get a MIDI note coming in here, and one MIDI note there. Let's see the MIDI edition of this one, and I'm going to have it randomly step through this here. There we go. So every time we get that MIDI note, we get a random, and it's doing it in a bit of a sequence here. And if I want a new sequence, I can hit this new random sequence. Pretty self-explanatory. All right, let's turn this down. Actually, we'll turn it down on. Okay, so hopefully, I'm trying to keep an eye on the levels here, vocals versus the output. It's always a challenge, juggling a million things at once. All right. Let's instantiate using auto hotkey, quickly bringing in my preset for grain delay. I'm going to pitch this down an octave. And actually, I want to try the same formula here. Let's see if I can. Looks like we need to figure out this threshold there a little bit. Again, the audio threshold thing is really unpredictable, which can be really interesting for some things, of course. It just depends on what you're going for. Now let's try some Cardinal in on this one. I've been loving this plugin, as you know, my favorite plugin, I think. Right next to VCVST, which is kind of an older version of VCV. I think there's some modules in here that you won't find in Cardinal. Cardinal's based off of VCV2, and VCV-VST is based off of VCV.6. I'll put links in the description. You guys can dig in. This is unfortunately only for PC, whereas Cardinal, they've got built for Mac as well. So let's add a filter in here. This is like one of my kind of like lazy person's go-to for getting an LFO, getting some quick sounds out of this that can sound interesting. Turn it down. The texture's a little in your face. Okay, so let's bring this in here and pull the cutoff down. And one of the newer versions of Cardinal introduces the awesome modules by the brand stoermelder, and there's just some amazing ones for randomizing. Let's see if I can find it. Strip. This one does a good job of randomizing any modules that are set next to it, and you can change this mode. This is like affects both sides. This one just affects the left side. So if I hit this random here, you can see it's randomizing the parameter to the right of it. So let's pull this one over here, and I'm gonna add the output to the random. So now this LFO is firing off randomness on the module to this. Let's get it going quicker so we can kind of see, yeah, we can see the effect happening a little bit more obviously. And let's add another one of these, here to the strip. LFO. Highly recommend checking out Cardinal. Sometimes with that random you get pretty unpredictable results. Yeah, maybe a little too clicky. Alright, let's delete that. Whoops. Alright, we don't need these here, I guess. Okay, cool. Texture, one of my favorite. Can't type. Texture does all kinds of weird, wild things to the sounds. So let's send into that. Gain, density, size. Take the blend all the way up. That's the wet dry right there. All right, cool. Going a little over time, but I think it's worth it. Alright, Cardinal is something that definitely takes, or VCV I should say, takes a bit of practice. Honestly, I had to work at it, I'd say about an hour a day for about 6 months before I felt like really super comfortable. It may not take you, your mileage may vary, it may not take you that long. I love this, this module here, remove. Let's make it so that it auto runs. After record, we can click this button and map it to any parameter in here, and then we hit this button, and when we move the parameter that we just mapped, now we can just record the movements. Alright, we're good there. Now let's record some of this Cardinal into the Concrete plugin here. Let's make sure we've got the source from Cardinal. There we go. And we'll try to pitch it up. For some reason we're getting the this was a little bug I guess I just found I need to fix. Alright, so now let's try recording. I'm not sure why this was automatically set to on. I think I need to set a default somewhere in the tool. We'll get that in 1.2, which I'll be introducing at some point soon, a version 1.2 of this. But I think for now, we are good to go on this sketch. Not the most amazing sounding sketch, but still fun to play around with some different ideas. And I'm sure you can take these ideas and do stuff that's way better, but at least this way you get a sense of like kind of some of the things you can do with these tools. So crazy. All right, until next time, have fun.